guys remember the movie Conan the Barbarian? Well, at the end of the movie, they show King Conan sitting on his throne. Well, I want to mash this up with Jack the Pumpkin King from The Nightmare Before Christmas. But I want to show Jack how we see him at the beginning of the movie, where he looks like this. So we're going to do a lot of sculpting, build a royal throne, and I'll even take a crack at a few different things that I've never tried before. If this all sounds good to you, then let's get our craft on. I've braided some wire, added a little bit of super sculpey. Might as well do a batch. Now that those are baked, let's add some cosplay over it. Now I'm gonna be 100% honest. I ended up not using this head, but what kind of Halloween video would this be without a decapitation or two? I'm adding some epoxy sculpt to the armature where I attach the wires. This is gonna lock it in and make it strong. I've glued 3 pieces of XPS foam together. Now I'm just cutting them. This is gonna be his throne. And I really think that the throne of Jack the Pumpkin King should be in stone, so I'm carving it in stone-like texture. I'm cutting up some strips of cosplay. My friend John at Red Meadow Knives made me this custom crafting knife, and he etched a little reminder in the top for me. Thanks, Red Meadow. I love my knife. Let's start bulking out the body with cosplay. Okay, as advertised, a decapitation. And the crowd goes wild.
In order to maximize your candy profits this Halloween season, it's important that you have 2 bags with you. One bag is filled with all your diabetic loot and stays hidden behind a bush, and the other nearly empty bag is what you bring to the door. This produces deep-seated feelings of guilt in the homeowner, and your candy profits will go up by at least 50%.
Now, the version that I'm doing of Jack is when he's in his scarecrow form. So his legs are like bundles of twigs, and they're tied together with rope, so I'm gonna try to do my best to emulate that. And this piece of aluminum foil, which looks suspiciously like a motorcycle helmet, is going to be the basis for my new hollow jack-o'-lantern. The general shape is baked, and now I'm gonna put more cosplay on top, try to make this blob look more like a pumpkin. A little later in the episode, we will find out exactly what's going on here with Jack Skellington. It's not pretty. I've baked the new layer of cosplay, and now I'm carving it like you would a real jack-o'-lantern. So I have no idea if this is the kind of pumpkin shoes that Jack wears, but this is the kind of pumpkin shoes that Jack is gonna wear in this sculpture. Let's bulk out his shirt. I racked my brain for quite a while trying to figure out how I would get the shirt-like texture upon the clay, so I wrapped some sports tape around my finger, and this seemed to work really well. I'm happy with the way it came out. And of course, Jack's shirt is a mess because he's a scarecrow and he probably has a moth infestation in his closet. I can't blame him because I too hate the smell of mothballs, but he should try cedar chips. That way, instead of smelling like an old person, you end up smelling like a hamster. Hammer time. Okay, I'm gonna get my whittle on and make a handle for a giant hammer. Did Jack Skellington ever use a giant hammer in the movie? Nope. But he's dealing with Hollywood types in this particular video, so blunt force trauma seems appropriate. Now that the hammer's all put together, I can make a thumb for him so that I can get the approximate fit. I've glued a couple of pieces of wood together for the base stand. I wonder if I used enough clamps. Alright, now we're gonna try a little experiment and have some fun. I'm adding some super sculpey to the base stand, hammering it down a bit. I went into Photoshop and created a stone floor texture, and then I used my laser cutter to cut the pattern out. Now I'm gonna lay this over the sculpey to use as a mold. Push! And that looks like pink crap. Take 2, bacon bond. Taking a little more time with the sculpey, made it a little thicker, and now I'm adding some clay softener to the top. Plus, I'm gonna try this 60 grit sandpaper to add a little bit of pitted texture. Now, these little slats of wood will break, so I have to be careful applying pressure to them. So using a piece of wood helps with weight distribution across the top. What do we have? Hey, it worked. Look at that. I made some arms for the throne, and I'm reinforcing it with toothpicks and PVA glue. I also made a back and a top for the throne so that it doesn't look like a lazy boy recliner.
Remember, kids, when you ring the doorbell and you say trick or treat, it's not a request, it's a negotiation. You should look at some good hostage negotiation footage for tips. Undoubtedly, you can find that on YouTube. Remember, the homeowner's fate is in their own hands. You gave them a choice fair and square, and now they have to live with the consequences.
Now this is the thing that drives me bananas about Super Sculpey. It's not very strong. See how it's cracked? It's one of the main reasons that I'm moving over to cosplay for my figures. But we can fix this floor with a little bit of PVA glue. I guess now would be the appropriate time to tell you the backstory of Jack Skellington that I'm trying to portray in this sculpture.
Warning, This following program may cause unexpected shivers down the spine, hyperexcitement, or chronic goosebumps. All of these medical conditions fall into the rare category known as frisson.
Good evening, and welcome to the Frisson Files. Jack Skellington, the golden boy of Hollywood, a man whose good looks and natural charisma helped him to not only evade serious criminal charges, including false impersonation and aggravated kidnapping, but a film adaptation was made of the story, and he became a superstar overnight. He was the toast of Tinseltown. The phenomenal success of The Nightmare Before Christmas seemed like the answers to all of Jack's dreams. But as the press tour for the film dragged on, Sally was stuck at home caring for their newborn baby, and Jack's deep-seated insecurities started to seep back in. He fell headfirst into the trappings of sudden fame, became abusive to his devoted and loving fans, and developed an addiction to deadly nightshade, among other things. However, the pressure really began to mount as Jack's gambling debts grew. He owed money to nearly every loan shark in Vegas. So Jack decided that he could make some serious dough by writing a sequel to his breakout film. It would also keep him from ending up in a shallow grave in the desert. Of course, Jack thought that his script was a literary masterpiece, even though his only previous writing experience was with Grocery List. Jack dreamed of also directing and starring in the film. But the Hollywood studio executives had different thoughts. They started giving notes, and then notes about the notes, and then changes, and then worst of all, opinions. Eventually, a meeting was called so that they could hammer out the final details, and that's exactly what happened. And by that, I mean the hammering. The Hollywood executives had pushed Jack to his breaking point, which is not uncommon in the film industry. However, his psychotic reaction was, "I've never seen anything like it in 20 years with the FBI," said Agent Christopher Danson, "and I'll never trick-or-treat again." Jack Skellington was soon apprehended after the FBI received a tip from a no-good two-faced politician, but he escaped soon after. "I think he just slipped right through the bars," said Officer Larvell Jones. "He's not a very big guy." And so Jack Skellington is still on the loose today. I don't know about you, but that gives me the frissons. Thank you. Now here's a word from our sponsor.
And this will be the best Halloween ever!
Boo.
What do you want?
You promised to subscribe to this channel.
I did not.
I don't like you or your stupid haircut. This is for my mom.
Dude!
I think it's best for everyone if you like and subscribe to this channel. Happy Halloween!
Someone call 911! Let's paint. Now here's something else fun for the base that I haven't tried before. I've cut some EVA sheets and I'm gonna line the edge of the base with this. I'm gonna try to make it look like metal plating, but it should provide a smooth, clean finish for the edge. Let's accentuate the holes with a little black paint, and if you smear the paint down, you can make it look like water or grease stains. Let's add a little color variety to these stones. Now this was a lot of fun. I pulled some hemp twine through some tacky glue and then twisted it up with my drill, and it makes a really convincing rope. And you can kind of do this at any scale you'd like. And here's Jack's precious little movie script. He worked really hard on this. He needs to work on handling criticism a little better. Now, in Hollywood, your script will be rejected if you don't have the correct brass fasteners in the correct holes. I'm not even joking about this. Look it up.
Now here's a tip for the parents. If your doorbell rings and there's a smoking bag on the porch, do not try to extinguish it with vigorous stomping. It's just a smoke bomb and a bunch of cow poop in a bag. Somebody got me real good last year. I had just bought a $50 pair of canvas shoes, and by November 1st they were in the garbage.
I need to give a huge thank you to my friend Jessy over at Little Giant Crafts. Jessy swooped in at the last minute and really helped me save this video. He did all of the illustrations for the Frisson files in just a couple of days, and it would be awesome of you to go over to his channel and show him the same love that he showed to me. Thanks, Jessy. You rock. Now, before I show you the final results of my sculpture, I just want to remind you that if you haven't gotten your fill of Halloween crafting videos, then go check out the video that I did last year. That's a crazy video. It's a collaboration with a bunch of cool crafters, so yeah, you can really get your Halloween fill there.